So my name is Dmytro Igolkin. I'm based in the Netherlands, and as I said, I'm super happy to give this session for you, explaining how you can easily start a journey using the Microsoft DevBox solution. Of course, for me, it took quite some time, probably a day or even more, to learn everything here. But what is the challenge, and what's the solution proposed by Microsoft? So, in a nutshell, in our daily life, we as a cloud architects uh, also involved in these communication between different teams, and there could be developers, there could be a infra team, there could be networking, security, and so on. But of course, usually it makes all these things too very complicated. And with this solution, with the proposed solution, Microsoft DevBox, uh, Microsoft is actually aiming to improve and make the collaboration between different teams in a new level, in a better quality, and also, of course, to raise the speed of the overall process and implementation, but also keep everything under control, especially when the secure development environments are necessary, but also keep it easy to developers to use, to have access to all necessary tools, and even to new joiners to easily onboard in the new project, and not waiting a lot of time, or doing everything themselves, installing all necessary tools. Sometimes it becomes a zoo, but to keep everything as standard as possible, and also provide the great control which Microsoft Azure could give us. Of course, there are quite many different technologies touching remote desktop or cloud box or cloud PC solutions, and even for me, it was quite tricky to explain properly how to position each of them. But if we look at the probably most popular cloud virtual desktop at this moment, which is Azure Virtual Desktop Solution, you see it's in the customer subscription, and it supports just a generic workload, or the remote desktop in general. Then a more specific came to stage is a cloud PC or Windows 365 cloud PC solution, which is giving you like a persistent and your own personal desktop, but of course with a lot of limitations. And of course, it does simplify everything, but not very suitable for developers. Some time ago, there was also Azure Dev Test Labs solution announced, very great one, but you still need to keep your own tools and lab sets and so on, either on your own machine, laptop, or even run some virtual machines inside your laptop to support all the development you probably need to do as a developer. So Microsoft DevBox is one of the latest solution. It's still in preview, but we all expect the solution will go GA quite soon. But it's kind of a combination, and the very special virtual desktop to serve developers with already predefined set of tools we usually use, or developers usually use in a daily basis, but also with the flexibility to change or add additional tools and make them standard. Plus, the machines themselves, they are based on quite powerful SKU and VM sizes, and Of course, there is a price that will be coming when it's GA. Now the solution is relatively relatively cheap, or some amount of hours to run the solution is still for free. But then there will be just regular payment for Azure resource consumptions, primarily for Windows machine. On top of it, of course, Microsoft licenses are still necessary, but most of the components they are already included in the proper license, and as you can see, it is quite a broad range of different licensing type. So let's say it is included already by default in many of them. What, of course, you still need to do is to arrange the necessary licensing for the tools, for particular tools your developers would need to use. But that's just the nature of the solution. And since the name of the solution, Microsoft DevBox, is quite simple, it does actually touch and involve multiple teams, multiple roles to be able to configure and then finally use and publish the dev boxes or virtual desktops for your developers. And as a quick demo, or as I did call it, rapid start, I want to show you the practical aspect of YoTry. As I said, it took me quite some time to understand all the links between different components, but also to resolve some issues during the course. But we will see how to do it easily, just following the official instructions you can find on Microsoft portal. But now it's just my my test environment, and to be able to find the solution, you don't need to sign up for everything. You just go and type dev box, and it will be immediately available to click. As you see here, quite simple setup, just giving you the documentation. But what you can configure here is actually two objects, two Azure resources. So Dev Center is the main resource. It does describe your organization or your particular dev team. If you have a very big organization with a multi-tenant configuration and so on. So let's say that's going to be a collection of your dev projects, and to be able to create, it's super easy. It does actually require the name and the location, and as you can see here, there are not many of them because it's just regular Azure resource object, which we sometimes call as a metadata object, just to keep some info and use it for Azure structure. So whatever you need to specify is just the location and from the limited scope. Yeah, so I did pick up West Europe for this one, but then when you develop different aspects of your developer teams, and you want to manage multiple of them, you would need to create multiple projects, and they are also DevBox projects in the sense of the proper teams and Azure resources organization. So as you can see, I did create one of them already, but that's also super easy to create as you can find here. So what we need to pick up, of course, which dev center to link this project, and then the name of the project, and there is no even the location. So they will be populated under your dev center. But for cloud admins or for your cloud team, the dev center will be the most important thing to configure. Because if you drill down to a newly created dev project, and then as you can see, yeah, there are some settings, but they're not really complete. So to be able to proceed with the configuration, of course, first you need to prepare properly your dev center. For that, and you can see there are a bit more config settings and different parameters over here. But of course, as a logical next step after you create your dev center, it's define a project, which I already did, but you can also do it from here. Then, of course, as a unit, you're gonna provide to your developers, it's gonna be dev boxes, their virtual desktops or their remote VMs located in Azure. And for that purpose, of course, you need to specify this object, you need to describe this object, but together with the network. And you can see here, there are three different options to configure the networking, the gallery for OS images, and DevBox definition. So let's define DevBox and configure network. That's what it means. But before you proceed to the next step and create your definitions and so on, what you need to care about is the identity. The identity as a standard, and nowadays probably accompany a lot of Azure resources, and here you can use either system assigned, which you see in my example, I did it, or if you have already specified, or probably you do not have access to create the service principals or app registration, or let's say if you have a limited access to your Azure Active Directory, then you can request the proper team and they will share with you whatever is user assigned. But these identities needs to be created before you continue. Then one of the most important thing, and it's not really straightforward here, is to manage networking. So here, just what you can create or add, it's a network connection. But as you can see, I can't even choose anything else. Before you actually add the network connection here, you need to create your VNet, or you need to already have your VNet and subnet predefined for the usage. Why it's so important? Because with the network configuration, you can granulate and control access for different dev teams to different environments, to different applications, to different deployment environments. And if you need to restrict somebody's access, you could probably have offshore dev team working on some piece of your application. So with the network configuration, you limit the network access to other projects, to other applications. But here, as you can see, one of the most important thing here, and what I realized is necessary to successfully deploy dev boxes, is to check the status of the network connection and actually its configuration. When you create an object and then when you just wait, so it takes roughly 15 minutes or probably 20 minutes to go through everything. My suggestion, you resolve all potential issues or warning, which could be here, but probably one of the most popular I've seen through all the experiments is the in-tune enrollment, because DevBox is heavily rely, since it's like managed service, it's heavily rely on the Intune functionality. So your Microsoft Intune must be enabled for your tenant. How to do it? I just refer you to the documentation, but it's very easy. If you don't have the specific license, you can easily sign up for 1 month trial for free, and it should work. Then it should work. When you see any other errors or warnings, please fix it before you proceed. Otherwise, DevBox for your developers won't be created correctly or either at all. But here, what we see, just the status over there, and under networking, it's just a link to virtual network and the subnet for you to specify over here. Just one note: I was super happy with your announce we got recently that Microsoft Azure is in Poland already, in Poland Central, and I did play today, and unfortunately this solution, and especially networking for this solution, is not supported yet for this region. But yeah, when it's GA, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be working as fine. So let's say for this moment, for this preview solution, West Europe probably would be the best option over here. And you can easily kind of understand and you can easily see it. And now it won't allow me to choose another network, but when you create a new one, it will not show you all your networks, but just the networks and subnets available for the preview. But just make sure all these check names, they are in the posit state, in the green state, before you continue. So the next one is the box definition. It's also easy to create, and now it has still limited functionality. So you specify the name, dev VM, for example, definition. Then you have access to quite many different images. And the good thing, you see, you have even specific images with Visual Studio integrated. So here you can pick up whatever you want, but in the future there will be also available custom images published in your own galleries. That's for sure. You just easily take and modify whatever you want. But for example, if I take the latest one, you see the image version. If it's in your gallery, then you can pick up the specific version or just keep it latest. And as you can see, there is no region. And many people, they are asking why there is no region. Region is defined by the network. That's why it is very important to create a specific network in the proper region before you proceed with the DevBox definition. And then when the developers, they will be requesting these machines, they will be taken the location of the network into account for the deployment process. So for now, as you can see, limited amount of images, but also quite limited amount of computing. characteristics, or in our case, it's like VM sizes or VM SKU. So for me, as you can see, just this particular SKU is available. So 8 CPUs or virtual CPUs and 32 gigs of RAM, which is standard set more or less for dev laptop. And what we can choose is just 3 different storages. And of course, yeah, it will affect the price, but here to decide what or how big your code or application is, then you just specify the proper size. So and then so it will take very very simple run, and probably few minutes, and then you will get this again definition. And my suggestion, my recommendation, check the status of the image. If there is no error found, that's the best state, which means the creation and the request of DevOps box tool will be as smooth as possible. So then if we go, so now we are prepared. Then under the project, we need to specify the DevBox pool. DevBox pool means the entity what our developers can request and actually can see in their self-service portal. So here this the DevBox pool just showing the status of the requested VMs. And as you can see, for example, I did request DevBox 2 times today, and one of them failed. And the reason why it's failed was due to that Intune, Microsoft Intune was not linked to my tenant, and the creation of the DevBox failed with the specific error that I don't have Intune license assigned to my DevBox. But then after I properly linked that one, everything worked just fine. So here, to be able to create DevBox pool, of course, we specify the name, and then we specify the definition in our case, that what we created based on 8 CPU, 32 gigs of RAM. Then we need to specify network connection. And as I said, network connection will manage the location for the VMs. Also, quite a few settings, whether you want to give your admin local admin rights or just a standard user, but also automatically control after stop for your VM. So you want to all developers to finish their work before 7 p.m. In the evening and just shut down all the machines. And of course, we need to confirm we have like a proper license. So from the developer perspective, that's one thing you need to do is actually to go to developer portal, which is devportalmicrosoft.com. So now I need to sign in using my account. Let me put my password. Over there. And if everything just fine, let me confirm it with my phone. Yes, I want to stay logged in. If everything you did properly, then you will be able to see this blue button here, plus new DevBox. The solution, just to make you know, the solution doesn't work for guest accounts. So here, if you have like connection to multiple tenants, you will see like exactly that you are connecting as a guest. So in that case, the solution is still not available. So in my case, I did request one of my DevBox. It is running at this moment. And to be able to get this like a second DevBox, probably you're managing different projects, or you need to try like solution from multiple machines, then you can easily request another machine, and you can see the project you specified the name, or you can see the name we did specify previously, and also the parameters of your machines and the location. It does actually say that it will take like 30 to 90 minutes, but practically it took, I think, 15 or 20 minutes in my case to spin up this machine. So we run it, create, and then just wait for this progress. I kept actually one of them, and you can see that the one which did fail. And for the details, yeah, this box is a failed state. So to see the details, not enrolled in Intune. So even this portal gives you already some information what was wrong and why it didn't work properly. So that's a really good good explanation. And with this one, you can easily, or developers can easily approach the administrator or cloud admins if there is any issue. So, but the magic here, and why it's still available for me, that to be able to publish or give the access to end users or to developers to the solution, there are few new roles. And if you go to access control, or if you probably do not remember exactly where to go, so you see there is set project access, and it will navigate you to the very same access control. And here, if you wanna give somebody's access, there are actually two additional roles, or two new roles: Dev Center, DevBox User, which gives your end users, your developers, possibility to create dev boxes, and of course, DevBox Center project admins, which means access to manage these environments. So for this account, to be able actually to request and to see over here, to see this lovely blue button, new dev box, the user must have this role assigned for the project. But user experience, then it's very simple to just a proper desktop. So you can either opt for RDP client, or you can even open your desktop directly from the browser. And of course, it does ask you whether you wanna share the clipboard or some other stuff through the session. If you click connect, it's gonna take, if it's a new setup, it's gonna take a few minutes to run. And here you are getting developers ready, desktop developers ready machine for your work, and you see Visual Studio code installed, and whatever is integrated in the OS image, they will be immediately available for your developers to pick up and start their work. So, Piotr, I think I'm done. And if I just switch here, I wanna thank you all guys for this session. I hope you learned some new stuff which you will use and I also hope in the nearest future in the Polish region for this technology. But yeah, let's wait when the solution is in GA officially, and that's super nice.
Yeah. Today we had some kind of discussion panel with guys from Microsoft. So yeah, the region is already started, but the new services will be deployed during the year. So I hope also that that new feature will be also available for us here in Poland. And it looks really really nice. So thank you, Dima, for your presentation. I'm looking on comment section. So, but I don't see any questions. So I believe that you can reach Dima on LinkedIn or somewhere else if you wanna know something more. So thank you, Dima, again. And I believe it's time for a short break, 10 minutes break before the next session. I see the next speaker with us already on backstage. So yeah, 10 minutes break and we will start with another.
Thank you, guys. Thanks
Thank
all, and yeah, have fun as I promised.
Thank you. Bye.